Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is time for the 2023 Inktober wrap-up video. I did all the 31 sketches, all the 31 prompts this month, and I also have some extra artwork too because I went to the Inktober Retreat and I did some sketching there that was not specifically Inktober. So let's start off with this sketchbook here. We're not going to be in order, but I have the list in here, so let's just shove all these out of the way and start off. So maybe I might be able to flip through, but I don't know. I think maybe we'll just make a check mark on the list next to each one. Okay, we're going to start off. Actually, I do know the first one, Dream, is in the Ohuhu sketchbook, so let's find that. Dream, right here. This is what I did for Dream. There's a video on this project. I wanted to do a bunch of like woodland critters snoozing, and so I started off by sketching it in pencil, and then I redrew it and did it in marker. And this is this is up on my YouTube channel if you'd like to see the whole process. And I really like how it came out, and that was day 1, Dream. Day 2 was spiders. Oh, I know where that one is. It's right here. Maybe I can remember where everything is. Spiders right here. I did this did this one here. So there's some issues with this that kind of bugged me. The first thing I did was I drew the spider. And then I'm like, oh, well, I think I want to do like a spotlight on the back. Sometimes I like to have like a shape, and I like to have like parts of the focal point kind of coming out of the shape. And I drew this circle, and I was using my flat compass. And I don't like how the edge of the circle and the spider almost line up perfectly. I don't like that tangent there, so I think that made the whole piece weaker. But then I was like, you know what? I already drew it. I'm going to keep on going. I think I actually had already drawn the spider and colored it in. But for whatever reason, I didn't want to erase that circle and put it in again. I don't know. Or maybe it was a little bit smaller, but I ended up, my marker bled and I had to push it out. I don't remember, but anyway, for some reason, this circle ended up being the same, like the edge of the spider hit that edge, and I didn't like that. But anyway, I thought, well, I'm just going to keep on working with it. So I took a white pen and I drew a spider web on the circle, and then I carried it out beyond the circle, and I put a little fly in it. It's okay, but I don't know. I was kind of meh about it. The next one is Path. Look at this. We're going to go through. We're going to do it in order. The path is right here. I took my my paddleboard out to the Sadankajunk Fishway, and I decided I love how the water looks like a path there, and so I paddled it on my little paddleboard. I had my little stuff in a fanny pack, and I painted for out there in the water, which was not the best experience. I would say, well, I enjoyed it. I want to see if I could do it, see if I could paint on the paddleboard, but there's too much drifting, and so I had to like keep paddling back every minute or so because I kept drifting and I couldn't see my scene anymore. But it was fun, and it definitely is visceral. When I look back at this, I'm like, yeah, it was like peak foliage. It was beautiful. It was fun to be out there, so that was Path. The next one is Dodge, and for Dodge, that's in this one. Let me find it without trying to spoil. That was one of last year's Inktober's. This is what I did for Dodge. Actually, I'm going to take this out. I only have one more page left in this sketchbook, so I'm going to finish that up. This was fun. I used a product called Liquid Charcoal, and I mixed it in with my Viviva color sheets here. This is the 2022 Inktober folio that Viviva put out last year. I really love this. It definitely makes doing it in illustration a lot quicker because I have everything right here. It's a minimal supply thing, and I just love it. And one thing I did though, I love how it's got this big pocket. I took a little pouch and I put my color sheets and my compass and pens and stuff in that because they kept falling out and being kind of a pain. So I'd sit on the couch and I would draw, and like sometimes I'd stand up and then phew, everything would fall out, and it was kind of annoying. So that worked out really well for me. So that was Dodge. I love how this came out. I love the vintage look that the Liquid Charcoal gave it. And I'm happy with that one. It was a lot of fun. And I'm starting to do more architecture, and you're going to see that as we roll through some of these other sketches. The next one is Map. That was day 5, and it was late, and I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, I still have to do this. I start off strong, guys. Every Inktober I start off so strong, and I'm like, I'm going to do my sketches first thing. I'm going to do it during my work day so I don't end up staying up till 10 o'clock doing a sketch because I've forgotten about it. So this was my first up late doing the sketch, and I was actually just, I was watching a show, sitting on the couch. That probably most of the ones done in here were sitting on the couch. And so the prompt was map, and so I'm like, I want to do a map with like a tack in it. And I was looking up some reference photos, and I wasn't happy with anything. And so then I finally just went and to see if I had a map, and I did have a map, a tourist map like of Maine. And so I folded it up and I stuck a pin in it, and that's what I drew from. And the reference photo of this too was on my Instagram if you want it. So then I thought, well, it'd be kind of fun because it's spooky season to put some of the Stephen King landmarks in here, because he wrote a lot of his books take place in a fictitious town called Derry, which is based on Bangor, Maine, which is the town I live nearby. And so then I just kind of went with that theme and decided to do like a spooky. I put Derry there, and I put Jerusalem's Lot and the Pet Cemetery and Castle Rock, and I just thought it'd be kind of fun to work in those literary references. The next one was golden. Oh, what did I do for golden? What did I do for golden? I don't remember. Oh gosh. We might have to come back to that because I don't remember what I did for golden. I should have it on my phone probably. We're gonna have to I think we're gonna have to come back to golden because I don't know what I did for golden. Yeah, I don't know what I did for golden, so it's not in there. So I'm just gonna I'll just put a mark on that so I know to come back. Did I put it in here? I'm like, geez, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Yeah, I don't know what I did for golden, so I'm gonna just circle that and we'll come back to it. The next one is drip, and for drip, I really love this. This is one of my favorites. I did an ice getting dropped into a glass with a big splash. So I love like there's drips everywhere. I like that. And there's drips down the side of the cup. And this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this drawing here. I love the reflection of the glass in the wet kind of puddle here. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that one for day 7 drip. Then we have Toad, which I also did in here. And I like this little pen and ink and wash one too. I think this was really sweet. That reference photo was fun from Unsplash. So was the glass with the ice dropping into it. I just like how vintagey storybook that looks, and yeah, I'm happy with it. Bounce, that one is here. And I did a super bounce ball. And I didn't have a lot of time this day because I was getting this done before I took my dog to the vet for her yearly checkup. And so the background is a little bit, when I was doing the background with the black marker, I colored it one way, then I colored it the other way, then I colored it that way, the other way again, and I can definitely see the grid of the marker overlapping. I didn't get a really solid look. I probably should have done one more layer, but I was in a rush. And then, because like, yeah, you could see, if I had done another layer, that would have been fully saturated on the back, and it would have given me a better look. So then I went in with some colored pencils and just tried to give it kind of like a spacey, celestial look, and I put in some stars and a little like bounce track there, a little dashed track line, and yeah, that's bounce, super bounce ball. That's what I did for that. The next one is Fortune, that's in here. I did a fortune cookie because again, it was another one of those late night sketchathons, and I was like, yeah, we're giving our some today. Next was Wander. Oh, Wander, yes, I did that one in the Ohuhu book. I'm hoping I come across golden sometime here. I'm wondering if I did golden on, you know what? Oh, this is what I did for golden, guys. It was this, I'm pretty sure it was this one right here. And this I'm actually teaching a class on the 17th on Michaels. So if you go to michaels.com/classes, you can sign up for free. But also, because I used a gold gel pen here, and there's a time lapse of this on my YouTube channel, and there is a downloadable line art on the Michaels class page if you want to get that. So I'm going to cross that off. That's what I did for golden. Ha! I remembered, finally. Alright, I'm going to stick that back with my class supplies so I don't lose it. And then Wander, I actually went back a couple pages in here because I had cordoned off a page for different like landscapes. There's a live stream of this on my YouTube channel, and it's all about landscape techniques with alcohol markers. And so Wander, I thought this would be fun to do like a bunch of different landscapes, like somebody has been wandering through and sketching their locations. And there's even a little person there. And I think most of these, if not all of these reference photos, came from Unsplash. So this is fun. I like this layout of the kind of like stepping down, almost like a log cabin quilt type layout. So yeah, that was Wander. Next we have Spicy. What did I do for Spicy? Oh, Spicy, right over here. I used watercolor markers, and I did pickled peppers. And there is a time lapse of this on my YouTube channel, and there's a full-time lesson in Critique Club. And I use the Faber-Castell watercolor markers, which I really love, and I don't know why I don't use them more often. I really need to make a point to use them more because they are fantastic. I think they might be a supply I use more in the winter because they're wonderful to be sitting in front of the couch. Sitting in front of the couch. Yes, I like to watch my couch. I sit on the TV and I watch my couch in the evening. That's how I roll. No, sitting on the couch, watching TV, this is a great like supply to have because it's not too messy. You can be hanging out. I found a nice case to put them in. So yeah, that's what I did for spicy. The next one is Rise. Oh, what did I do for Rise? I don't remember. Oh, I did bread rising, and I actually just started my sourdough starter today. It takes 5 days to get to a baking, being able to bake with it. It's a recipe from the kitchen, and it's like the fastest sourdough. I use it every year. It works fantastic. But anyway, so I had taken a reference photo of a loaf of bread when I had baked it once, and I thought it looked really cool, so I saved it to use in the future for because sometimes I'll take pictures of bread and I'll send it to my kids. So I'm like, don't you want to come home? They're all in college and all on their own. So like send a picture, I'm like in the Snapchat family chat, like, oh look, I just made some bread. Who wants to come home? So I had taken this picture and I thought that would be a really nice reference photo. And I took it in the square format too. So on my camera, because you can set like the different aspect ratios, and I'm like, that would make a really nice sketch. So I just drew a square and I drew it in there. So that was for Rise. Next for Castle, I did Hogwarts Castle. I wasn't that happy with this, to be honest. As you can see, I've sectioned off these large pages in this watercolor sketchbook. I like to do that once in a while because I like to test out layouts, and also I think sometimes it's better, you know, especially if you're just doing some quick sketches that aren't that impressive on their own. If you combined a bunch of sketches together, then the sum of all the parts are better, or the total effect of having a big layout. Like I did this one here, and I feel like this has much more of an impact than just doing like one scene. So sometimes I feel like that too. I just want to have an area where I can do quick little sketches and not be too particular and not feel too fussy or precious about them. So I did Hogwarts Castle there. I used these watercolors. I'll have a review coming up for them soon. I've already filmed it, but they're the student grade line from Rosa. Like Rosa Gallery has the professional line, but then they do a studio line, which is a student grade line. I'm just going to say don't waste your money, but I will have a full review on them. They're fine, but for a couple more bucks you can get the professional, and that's way better. But anyway, that was Castle. Next we have Dagger. Oh, this was my absolute favorite. My favorite for the entire month. The idea came from my friend Karen. We were out having dinner with her husband, and we had both ordered Mai Tais, and it came with like the little garnish had one of those swords through it, and she's like, tomorrow's Inktober's Dagger, and I'm like, I'm totally stealing that idea too. So we both drew our Mai Tais, but I took a reference photo of like zoomed right in with the square format on my camera, so I'd have it all cropped out and ready to go. Made it really easy, and I used the Coda art markers from Cheap Joe's, and I actually use those on a lot of the ones going forward. Fantastic markers. I have a review on those coming up soon. I've already filmed it, but that was the first thing I did, and I hadn't even swatched them, and I was able to go by the color caps to get my colors and not have any problem whatsoever. And it was such a great size of markers to have. Like, it was the 120 set, and it was just very compact, easy to access them all, just sitting next to me on the couch. Very great for if you're a lazy artist like me and you like to sit on the couch and do your Inktober. You know, that's a good lazy art hack. But that was for Dagger. The next one is Angel, and that's again from my watercolor sketchbook. It was another fast one. I was playing around with those Sonnet watercolors, not Sonnet, I think Sonnet because they're in a cardboard box like that. The Rosa Studio, and Angel, so I did that little angel there. I think it came out all right. Again, not thrilled with the watercolors, but it was a fast one. I wasn't really that into the prompt, so I just kind of made it fast. Then the next one was Demon, and that one is in here. Man, I've never used a list as I've gone through to do the wrap up, and it's so much easier to have the list. And I did this cartoony looking guy. So my thought was to do a like somebody tearing through like the veil between reality and whatever hellscape dimension the demon's coming from. And I've got this guy who looks like a cute little gargoyle. It doesn't look like a demon at all. And it looks more like a school mascot that's like tearing through one of those paper I don't know what you call them, big paper banners, you know, and they'll like the mascot will tear through them on a football game or something. That's what this reminds me of. It's not what I was going for, but it's what it reminds me of, and it's fine. It's red in the background, so it kind of looks hellish, but yeah, it's a little too cute to be that scary. The next one is Saddle, and I did a saddle shoe, and this was another pretty quick one because I don't know, I didn't really have a great idea. I was thinking a horse saddle, I don't know. Saddle shoe I thought would be fun, and it was pretty quick, and I couldn't be bothered to come downstairs to work. I wanted to watch a TV show and sit on the couch. So again, laziness prevails in my Inktober. The next one is Plump. Oh gosh, what did I do for Plump? Oh, I did blueberries. Plump, juicy blueberries. And it was, again, this one was done with the Cheap Joe's Coda art markers and sitting on the couch. So, and I could tell you, actually, I could actually tell you what I watched. I was watching Nip Tuck in that. I was watching Lessons in Chemistry there. I was watching the morning show there. I can always really remember things a lot better when I'm drawing, or creating art, and I'm listening to it or watching it. I guess I do more listening to these shows and watching them. The next one was Frost. What did I do for... Oh, Frost. I did Frost. I'm frosting a cupcake. And I actually filmed this. There's a time-lapse on YouTube, and there's a real-time version of this in Critique Club. I thought frosting would be kind of fun. This was a good... I had a lot of teachable moments in here because I messed up in the frosting, and I had to, like, really throw a lot at it to fix it. But those always create the most teachable moments, I think. And something I started doing, which I thought was kind of cool, and I got this tip from Jane Davenport. On the back side of your pages where the markers bled through, take your fine liner and just kind of redraw it, and it gives you just a little extra fine lining practice, and then it kind of almost looks like you have two, like a double spread there, because you get two for the price of one. So I did it on the back of that one as well. So kind of fun, interesting thing you can do just to practice your line work, or practicing your warming up before you start a new sketch. You could just do the back side of one of your other alcohol marker ones, and that works out pretty well. The next one is Chains, and that one is in my Oohoo book. And this was simple, but I actually really like it. Where did that one end up? Right here, it's just very simple. I used a bunch of the grays from the Coda art markers from Cheap Joe's because there's a lot of grays in that 120 set. So I'm like, well, let me work with those grays, and because there's lots of different undertones and stuff. So I thought it was kind of fun to do and have a kind of a complex gray with that, and so I really like how that was coming out. I was watching the Goosebumps TV series, the new one that came out on Hulu. The next one is Scratchy, and that's also in this book. I did hand kind of scratching through, tearing through some fabric, and I was also watching Goosebumps when I did that on a totally different day. I like to watch scary stuff when I'm drawing Inktober. The next one is Celestial, and that I did in this book. And I just did I basically traced a star stencil. So I had a big star on my star template. So I had a big star on my paper, and then I did a celestial kind of nebula background. So I used these really inky watercolors that are by Koh-i-Noor. They're the Mikador line. They're super intense and inky. They kind of remind me what I thought like the ink tense pan paints should have been. They're like super transparent, super bright, super inky. They're not permanent when they're dry or anything, but that's kind of how they are. And then I did, while it was still wet, I added some white paint in there, so it would kind of like give me that Milky Way type look. And then I dabbed on some white paint marker, and that did crack because I think I got it too thick. Maybe I might have had some Dr. P.H. Martins in there, but whatever it is, it's too thick on there and it's cracking. So lesson, I don't say lesson learned, I want to say, yeah, use acrylic paint if you're going to do that, because gouache or white watercolor is just way too, doesn't have enough binder in there to hold it onto the paper. Next we have Shallow, and that one I think I did in the Oohoo book. Yes, I did this little duck splashing in a shallow pond. And I was watching Nip Tuck when I did that. That one I wasn't watching anything because it was super quick, so I was just came down here and did that. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cute. It was pretty simple, pretty quick actually, but it was fun, and I enjoyed it. The next one was Dangerous. Dangerous. This was the first night I got to the Inktober Retreat, and because I was in the second week one, not the first week one, so it ran from the 25th through the November 1st. So this was Dangerous, so I thought an art supply store with a sale on, because I was kind of also wanting to do shop fronts and architecture and things like that. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to do that. So, and we drove through Vermont, and there's so many like ye old chopes everywhere. So I thought it would be kind of funny to do that. Ye old art chope, and then, you know, make it on sale. And then the next day was remove. And so this idea came from my husband, actually. He said, you could do somebody removing art supplies from the art supply store. And so that's what I did. So we have this lady who is, you know, like a boss removing the art supplies. And I struggled with this a bit because the background was so bright, because I tried to do the storefront from that one in the background, but it was just standing out too much. So I went over it with a really light gray marker and just kind of muted everything out, and that worked really well. And then I put a really thick outline around her to kind of make her stand out a little bit more. I probably could have done that in white as well. Maybe that would have been a little more effective because she has so much black on, or in so many dark colors, but at the end I like how it came out. I think it works, and it was fun to do. And the next one was Beast, and that one's back in my little tiny watercolor sketchbook, and I did a picture of my dog who I call her the Beast. And so I usually we got these yellow chairs, and we're trying to keep them from getting all hairy and drooly and everything from the pets. So I throw a blanket on the chair, so when she lays on it, she loves to lay on this because she can look out the window, and we have no, you know, discipline in our house. We don't keep our pets off the furniture. And so I had her blanket in the wash so I could put it on. So I'm like, I'll put that pillow in there so she won't climb up. Usually she won't climb up on something if there's a pillow on it. She'll act like completely helpless. And so I walked in the living room, and she's there laying on the pillow. And I had taken a picture of it because I thought it was funny, and I sent it to all the kids on the Snapchat. And so I'm like, oh, that's perfect. I'll use that for Beast. And that's what I did. The next one was Sparkle, and Sparkle, I did this little bow, and this bow is it's actually from an advertisement. It was like the back of a Sam's Club catalog, I think, and it was just all these different bows, just it was red bows on a red background. There was tons of them, and I had torn that page out and just stuck it in this like folio here in case I just wanted something to draw and didn't have anything, because I liked how sparkly they were. And so I'm like, well, I'll just do that for Sparkle. So there's that. And then I finished this book, so I tried to do fancy letters, and I wrote the end and put the date on it. And then I'm like, well, I never did the beginning. I usually don't do the first page in the sketchbook until the end. And then I just made a little start page here, and that finished that sketchbook off, which made me so very happy. And then next we have Massive. Gosh, what did I do for Massive? Oh gosh, did I do it in here? Massive. What did I do for Massive? Let's see, maybe it's in the sketchbook, because, oh yes, it's in here. Because I'm like, it's so easy to forget. I did this church. It was this big church that was really close to the Focus Retreat Center where the Inktober Retreat was, and they had this massive, like out of proportion, massive tower attached to the Congregational Church. And so I drew the tower, and it has this girdle on it because they were like repairing it, and like stones are like falling off, so I have to make sure they don't hit people, I guess. I guess they've been repairing it for a couple of years. And so I just started by drawing the tower. Then I'm like, I'd like to sketch the whole church. And I mean, I just did this quick on location in ink, and then I added watercolor when I got back to the retreat, my desk at the retreat. But yeah, this is like so big and so out of proportion that I thought I would use that for Massive. And I'm also working on my architecture drawings, and so there was that. And then for Rush, I did this detail of a car fender with alcohol marker, and I thought it came out really good. I brought my Art Beak alcohol markers with me because there's so many in the box, and then I could share them with people, which I did, and if any got lost, I wasn't going to worry about it. But one thing I noticed with any alcohol markers, honestly, is that you get a lot of leaching of color up through, like if you use a white gel pen, so you might have to let that dry and go back through and do the white gel pen again, especially over reds or purples. There will be color leaching, so you can see a little bit of leaching in there. I probably won't do anything to it. I've already taken the picture and posted it to Instagram, let's face it. My work here is done, but I liked how it came out. It was a lot of fun. The next one is Fire, and honestly, I was just doodling around on this, and I wasn't intending to use this for a prompt, but it was a picture I found on Unsplash, and the flames were kind of pastel, kind of like when they add like when they add different minerals to fire, and you can buy like different logs that will burn different colors. And I was just doodling around with my markers, and I liked it, so I'm like, I'm going to use this for Fire, and that wraps up my Inktober. So now I'm going to show you a few of the other things that I sketched while I was on my retreat. Jason and I did a trip through Watertown. He used to spend his summers in Watertown and Alexandria Bay, New York. And so I saw this cute gas station called Ryan's Jet Gas, and I just loved it. And I didn't get a chance to snap a picture quick enough, so I went to Google Maps and I found it, and I worked on, I screenshot the Google Map picture of it, and I worked from there. And then before I did that, I actually did a detail of the sign, because I did get actually I found the sign, a picture of the sign online, but I thought it was so charming. And I took a picture of this here in Alexandria Bay. It's this little lounge called The Spot. I thought it was really cute. So I took a photo of that and painted it when I got back to the retreat. And then here I did this on location, and I posted a photo of this on Instagram, as well as the building that I had sketched. It's called the Queen of the May. It's in Malone, New York. It's just this painted Victorian gorgeous house. And then I did a detail here because I knew that sitting in the parking lot across the street from it, painting it, I was not going to get the level of detail I wanted. So I decided to just do what I could, and I did a detail. After this was just kind of get the ideas down quick, and then I did a detail of it there. And then let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I did some really quick sketches just of some food I took pictures of at the Amish store we stopped in the town next to maybe Potsdam. I'm not sure what town it was, but I just took some photos and was doing some really quick little sketches of the food. This is a church in Potsdam I took a photo of, and I just thought it was kind of sweet. I took a photo out the car window, but you know, and that's where I got with that. This was my husband's breakfast one day, and I thought I liked the shiny and the textures and stuff, so I took a pic and I sketched it. This is some birch trees from a hike that we took that I sketched, and I thought they were pretty, and then I made them more colorful. And then I've got one sheet left that I will use up very soon. And then I finished up on that hike. We hiked to see a waterfall, and I did a couple quick sketches. I did this one here of the woods. I know it's pretty chaotic looking, but it's really hard to see much contrast in the woods when you're in it. Everything is about the same value, the same color, and then there's this waterfall that I quickly sketched. But yeah, it was fun, and I finished up that book, which made me very, very happy. And did I do a front page? I did a front page for this as well. Lindsay's Random Art from 2018 to 2023. And this one, I finished this one up as well, so I was able to do I just did the Lindsay's Travel Sketchbook. These have been kicking around with me for like 5 years. I was so happy to finish them off. And the last thing to share is just this little sketch of Bolt Castle from Alexandria Bay. And then I took a photo of a marquee when I was stopped in the car in Potsdam, and I painted that as a bookmark. So there you have it, Inktober wrap up. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Happy crafting. Bye.